Begin. Let's begin.
All right. What's going on, family? Welcome to another Create Your New Life. I am your host, broker, CEO, Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. We come live on Tuesdays at 12:30. Love to have you guys here today. We got a great session. We're going to continue in our series of the psychology of real estate. So we got some good stuff, jam-packed conversation discussion. We had a great session a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to continue the conversation today. So welcome. Want to thank you if you're checking us out on one of our mechanisms. Maybe somebody emailed you the video link on our YouTube channel, or somebody, you're seeing it on social media, on Facebook, wherever you're tuning in from. We want to just say thank you for checking us out. You get a little idea of what we do as a brokerage firm. I got about 6 of my superstar realtor agent members and affiliate members on, so you all know that at any point y'all can stop, engage, ask questions. The trainings are not just for me to be talking. There's a lot of coaching and training going to go on, but ideally there's a lot of discussion that can go on as well. So with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen. Now look, if y'all are not seeing my screen, say something. Don't be shy. Say, Mike, you clicked on the wrong button and we seeing the wrong screen. Say something. All right, so first of all, I always like to start off by saying YouTube, our YouTube channel is a great way to engage with us. We post about 2 or 3 pieces of content between our YouTube channel, between our Facebook business page. So there are great opportunities for you to engage with us. Subscribe, like, follow, learn, and share the content that you get and you like it. I'm also on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm also on Facebook. So follow me on those mechanisms as well as a way to engage via social media. Also, if you hear something that you like and you want to schedule a one-on-one to get some more information about how we can assist you, how we can assist you in the trajectory of your real estate business, then I highly encourage you, click on that link, schedule a one-on-one appointment so you can learn more about all the things that we're able to offer at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. And for you realtor, our agent members that are in need of some continuing education credit, remember, every Create Your New Life, there's an opportunity for you to get an hour of CE credit. You just got to follow these very few guidelines of being logged on, showing your identification, being able to see your face. You got to see your face, and you got to stay online the entire time. Do those simple steps, and you get this easy hour of continuing education credit. So easy to get this hour of continuing education credit. I'm just saying. All right, so let's jump into what we're going to be talking about today. So, how should realtors start their careers? And I got some upstanding, long-standing realtor members that may be able to understand where I'm coming from. Topic today of how should we begin? How should it start your career in real estate? And that's what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about the biggest decision of your career as a realtor. Also going to be looking at the biggest mountain to climb that Brooks & Davis has identified. Going to talk about our special coaching sessions that we provide to our realtors, going a little bit in depth concerning that as we look to build the right custom real estate business for our agent members. And there's a beautiful townhome in the heart of Houston that we're going to do our listing showcase around today. So, like I said, we got a jam-packed show today. This quote, man, when I saw this, matter of fact, when I heard this quote, I was actually put on by the quote that we have posted on today's marketing, where it says, "Fear is not real." And I actually was attending an event, and I heard a young lady stand up, and she mentioned this quote. And when she said it, I could already pinpoint where it came from, because it was a movie of mine that I really liked the way it was written. Like I'm an M. Night Shyamalan fan. I like his movies, Signs, Signals, and then this one right here, After Earth. And the quote is from After Earth. Matter of fact, Will Smith tells his son in the movie, and it relates to fear. I really liked After Earth because of how it related to fear, right, and the concept of fear. So this is what Will Smith's character says to his son. He says, "Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is the product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice." And again, that quote to me, especially when we're talking about the real estate, just getting into real estate, the activities that are required or needed to be successful in real estate, you know, as we're talking about that, we understand there's a lot of fear that's going to pop up, a lot of apprehensions, right? A lot of concerns. And unfortunately, sometimes that fear freezes us, right? We stop. And as what we're going to talk about today, we got to push past it. So I love the way that Will Smith put it as he was talking about fear and it being a part of our imagination. It's about our thoughts of the future, right? And it's near insanity to do that, because in reality, sometimes we make right now decisions based off of things that may never ever show up, and it's crazy. So I thought that was a great quote, and I wanted to share that with you guys today. All right, so now we're going to go into our moment in core. You know, one of the things that we talk, and for you first timers, if you haven't spent time or attended our Create Your New Life, there's some segments that we do on a regular basis, and one of them is our moment in core. And we are going to and our core ideology, or the moment in core, comes from our core ideology as an organization. Our core ideology is made up of 3 components. I put up the number 4. 3 components. Our core goal, which is what I'm going to talk about today, which is right here on the screen. Our core mission, and our 5 core values, right? So our core goal, and again, this is the thing that we're shooting for, right? When we, for you all that have attended coaching sessions, and y'all know the exercise that we go through as it relates to ultimate life vision, ultimately what we want. Well, this is ultimately what we want as an organization. This is the right now stretch goal that falls in line with the ultimate vision of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. And that's to be the #1 real estate company in the state in productivity and profitability, right? That's our big, hairy, audacious goal. That's our rabbit, right? I know y'all seen those Hennessy commercials where it talks about chase your rabbit. That's our rabbit, to be the #1 real estate company in production and profitability. And to do that, obviously, you need to know who's holding the current #1 spot. So as of 2020, the #1 real estate company in the state right now is Keller Williams Go Realty, and it's a group of 14 offices in the East, like Arlington area, and 14 offices, 4,200 agents. That's how many they have combined. Last year they did production numbers of $9.45 billion. So 32,000 transactions. So we know what we have to achieve. If we're gonna catch that rabbit, if we're gonna knock him off the pedestal, that's the kind of crowd that we need to be moving towards, that we're desiring to move towards, right? The company that we need to be in. So that's to get out of Texas. But just to get out of Houston, the #1 real estate company in Houston is Keller Williams Realty Memorial, right up the street, right up there on West Town. They have 3 offices, 2,017 agents. They did $3.59 billion worth of production, 13,000 transactions last year. Keller Williams Go Management is #10 in the United States, and Keller Williams Memorial is #45. And all of these numbers I got from RIS Media's broker. They do a broker survey every year, power broker survey every year, and that's where I go to get these figures. So that's what we're up against. And every day, this is the stuff that gets me up out of bed every day, is answering the question of what will it take? How will we become the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability? That's what we're shooting for. And it's going to, guess what? It's going to take all of you all, as well as all of the people that are not even a part of Brooks & Davis yet, to help us achieve that goal. And that's what makes it so exciting. So welcome to the game. Let's get it in. All right. Before we move on to the next, I want to give a shout out to some new people. We signed on a new agent, Marvette Perry. Want to definitely welcome her to the family, Marvette. And we got a new affiliate member, Ellen Porter. She's on with us. Matter of fact, she's on right now. What's up, Ellen? Thanks. Welcome to the family. She's been doing some great work here in the Coaching and Training Center. We've got her from HCC. She's a part of the internship program and their co-op. So for you all that have been coming to the office, maybe you've been seeing her, but she's doing a great thing. But she signed up as one of our affiliate members, and we're excited to have her be a part of the Brooks & Davis family. Even after her semester with HCC is up, she's still going to be here with us. So we're grateful that she's here. So glad that Ellen's here with us. So welcome to the family, Ellen. Welcome to the family. And I know y'all been seeing her shout out on GroupMe. She's very active on the GroupMe, and I can appreciate that. Because some of y'all like to be real silent on the GroupMe. I have to ask you, like, are you on the GroupMe? Like, are you getting the messages? Because y'all won't never respond. You won't even like the message. So I like that. I like that. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and see what kind of production that we're doing as a company. See how we did last week. All right. All right. Yeah, we're still cranking it out, man. I'm just so very excited, man. Almost every week we're bringing in about $1 million of new production, which is great because guess what? We're selling them. We're selling them as fast as we're getting them. So to be able to continue to maintain our position of a little less than 10 million in production, it's a phenomenal feat. And again, I mean, I can't take any credit for it. It's you all putting in work, and it's you all going out there, getting the deals, working with your clients, and putting yourself in position to get paid. I mean, $329,000 worth of commission in the bucket. I mean, that's nothing to frown upon. So the reality is that if you're not getting a piece of that pie, then and as some of you have heard me say, 2 things I care about: transactions and coaching. So if you don't have the transactions on this board that gives you a piece of the pie in this bucket that we got here, then I need to be seeing you guys with our coaching sessions. Let's get it. Let's get committed. And again, coaching, guess what? Coaching is one of the things we're going to talk about today in our proprietary programming. It's that important. So if you're not on here, if you're not consistently putting transactions on here, we got to figure out what's going on. Because guess what? You can't use the excuse that the market's down or agents aren't doing business. You can't use none of that because this board right here is too close to home. Right? These are Brooks & Davis agents that have access to the exact same stuff you have access to. So no excuses. Let's get it in. But congratulations, everybody. Shout out to our top 3 for the week. Kendra Wheaton holding that #1 spot. Rick Davis representing the fellas. Got the fellas up in the top 3 this week. Let's go, Rick. And Margaret Harrison. Margaret Harrison's on the board as well. So congratulations, Margaret. Congratulations, Rick. And congratulations, Kendra Wheaton. Woohoo! Margaret! Margaret in the coaching and training center with us, so I can give her a shout out in live version. All right, so let's see. All right, so we got that. Let's see what's next. New listed showcase. So we got a new listed for you all. I think we had a couple of open houses at this listing last week. I mean, I may not remember. But we're going to showcase, well, I know definitely this week we're going to be doing an open house at this property. But this is a townhome. Let's see. All right. Can y'all see that? So this is a townhome. Somebody unmute yourselves. Let me know if y'all see this MLS right up.
We can see it.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Christy. So this is a townhome listing that we have at 3626 Link Valley Drive. Only asking $282,000. It's been on the market for a couple of weeks now. But it's in a phenomenal area. It's right here in the heart of Houston, you know, close, right off the Stellar Link. So it's right inside the Loop, right? Them Loop properties, man, they're special because of the vicinity that it gives you to our major centers of commerce, right? You got the Galleria right there, Milan Plaza right there. You got Greenway Plaza. You got the Medical Center. You got downtown. Right? I mean, so like those interloop properties are, I mean, they're hot. So to be able to get one, you know, for less than $300,000, that's a steal. So it's a townhome built in 2001, 2,100 square feet, has beautiful hardwood floors, kitchen, island kitchen is a kitchen an island in the kitchen with walk-in pantry. There's a lot of natural light that you get access to. And again, it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And we already talked about the access or the accessibility to things like, you know, NRG, the Galleria, the Medical Center, and things like that. So let's check out some pictures. Let's see if it do right. Do right. All right, so there goes those hardwood floors as you walk in. Boom. There's that large island that she mentioned. It's beautiful. So that's the kitchen, great for entertaining. Large living dining area. Again, great with it being in the Loop. You know, it's just one of those properties that just gives you a lot of flexibility and access to the amenities of the city. You know, right there you got some French doors that lead to a private patio. So you got access to your patio. As we already talked about the vaulted ceilings, you see the vaulted ceilings that just bring in a tons of natural light. You know, light paint. So, and you know, with the kind of paint that you use in these type of properties, it gives the perception that there's a lot more space in the property. So that was a great use of painting. It gets a little virtual staging for you right there, so you can see how your furniture and stuff can set up. It's a little laundry area. It's your bath. Everything white. A little more virtual staging for you. That virtual staging looks so real, huh? You go in the house and it be empty. You be like, what? But where all that furniture was? Boom. Now it's gone. What they see? Now you see it. Now you don't. All right. So high ceilings. And good. That's a takeaway for you guys that, you know, obviously staging, having real furniture in a property can be very expensive, but there are a lot of options out there that will do virtual staging on your pictures on the MLS. Something to consider. Here goes your master suite bathroom. Very large master suite. Again, all of this for under $300,000. It's only $282,000, and it's right in the loop. I mean, it's a steal. 2,100 square feet. So that's your little back area, a little side area. Again, it's a townhome. It's just connected to one other unit, but plenty of space, plenty of driveway space, so you ain't got to feel like they're all up on you. All right. So let's get it sold, people. Let's work together as a team. If you got a client that want to be inside of the loop, they want to be close to the amenities, then let's go ahead and give us a call here at the office. Looks like Larry's helping out with this with another one of our agents. I believe Kendra Wheaton, this is her property. So let's go ahead and get together. Let's work together, and let's get it sold for them, people. Let's get your buyer in the property. Let's do it. All right. Let's see. Any comments, questions? Nothing? Everybody good? We all good? Everybody good. All right. Let's see. So let me get myself together. What's next? Proprietary programming. So what proprietary programming are we going to talk about today? Which one are we going to showcase? And again, for maybe you first timers on our Create Your New Life, this is another one of those segments that are consistent because we always like to highlight the many programs that we have access to, that our agent members have access to. Reason being is because we get it, man. You can get busy, you can start working, and you forget to tap in to some of the resources and the things that you can utilize to help grow your business. So because of that, during our Create Your New Life business meeting and coaching, we like to highlight some of our programs. So the one that we really want to highlight is what our secret sauce is, right? It's our one-on-one coaching. It's the fact that by being an agent member of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, you get access to a one-on-one to an individual that's not only going to coach and hold your hand through understanding the mechanics of this business, but you're going to get somebody to hold your hand to help you deal with the psychology of it, right? As well as hold your hand through creating and building the kind of business that you want. That's what our secret sauce is. And that's what our agents are able to gain access through by being a part of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. So, and again, we use different modules, different concepts to help really deal with the psychology of things through our psychological iceberg for success. Our Realtor Success Funnel, our Sustainable Realtor Business Model. We use these models and these concepts to really help facilitate that journey of development, right? Because development is not a destination, right? You don't just wake up one day and you've arrived as a successful realtor. That's not what happens. It's a process. And you got to stay committed to the process, and you got to be patient with the process. Like, that's the biggest key, being patient with the process. It's very important. So through the one-on-one coaching, that helps us achieve that. And we do our best to make it as accessible as possible, right? So we don't get tripped up on the fact of you always got to come in the office, or you got to be face-to-face or in person. No. And we utilize Zoom and Easy Talks just like everybody else to again, make sure that on that consistent basis, you guys are engaging and you're tapped into the power source, right? You're tapped into the knowledge base. So you're not trying to do this thing by yourself. It's unnecessary to try to do it by yourself when we're offering something like one-on-one coaching. And look, go do your research. There's no other brokerage firms that are offering it as a part of their brokerage. See, now there are others that offer it, right? But you got to pay for it. And then there are companies that offer one-on-one coaching. And again, you're going to pay for it. And the reality is, you're going to spend thousands of dollars for one-on-one coaching. Like, it's not something that's extremely affordable. You know, there are even some companies out there, they'll do group coaching. So they'll they'll coach, get you on a group call and have about 4 or 5 of you on there, and you know, you guys deal with the coach from that perspective. But to have one-on-one where your time is completely devoted, the time is completely devoted to you and your business and your dreams and what you want, to have that, and for it to not cost you anything, only the fact that you're an agent member of Brooks & Davis. I mean, nobody out there can brag or promote or say anything like that. Now, prove me wrong. I'm open to being proved wrong, right? But as of right now, until somebody prove me wrong, I'm saying we're the only brokerage firm that offers that. So if you're already a Brooks & Davis agent member, take advantage of it at least once a week, right? You don't have to limit yourself to once a week, right? Because the faster, this is all I do, right? And our coaches, this is what we do. So we got the time. So if you want to do 2 a week, 3 a week, you know, right now I have an agent, I call it my coaching immersion, my emergency coaching immersion. And she's doing it every day for a span of 2 weeks. Sometimes you need that, right? So the coaching is extremely flexible because, number one, we know that it works. And if you're going to get to that place as a realtor, you need it. Like, there's no way to really get there without it. So take advantage of it. You're going to need it. All right. So, and the great thing about the coaching is that conversation really takes us into what we're talking about now. And what we're talking about now, say over the next, I can't remember if this is a 10-point series or not, but we'll just say over the next 9 sessions, because it may be. We're going to be talking about the psychological aspects that most trainings and most education doesn't deal with, right? And again, I'm going to use the word trauma because I do believe, and as a person that's gone through being a realtor and dealing with the everydays of a realtor, right? It can be very traumatic, the type of scenarios and situations that you have to deal with. If you didn't get on the last session, I highly encourage you to get on it, because it wasn't just me expressing the levels of trauma that I was talking about. It was other agents that were co-signing with me as it relates to the level of rejection, the level of disappointment, the level of discouragement that as realtors you will experience, right? So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that's another reason why it's imperative, right? It's imperative that you line yourself up with the kind of environment that's going to undergird you and support you, and that's headed by the kind of leadership like us that cares, right? So you got to get with somebody that cares, because if they don't care and you're doing this thing by yourself, it's going to be tough. So because of that, we're spending time going through one of our modules, which is the psychological iceberg for success. And we're going to take our time kind of moving our way up the iceberg, right? And the reason I chose an iceberg as it related to this module is because most of you know that the largest part of the iceberg is under the water. So if you're in a big, massive boat like the Titanic, well, you can't see. The only thing that you can see is the stuff on the top. And the portion of the iceberg that's on the top is the smallest portion. So was sunk, that massive ship, that unsinkable ship, the Titanic, it wasn't the part of the iceberg that was on top of the water. It was the part that was under the water. And guess what? That's what's sinking realtors. It's the stuff that people cannot see. It's the emotional impact. It's the mental, or I will say the emotional impact left untouched. It's the mental impact left on its own, right? Not dealt with. That's the stuff that's sinking realtors. That's why I use the visual of the Titanic, because that's the stuff that's sinking. So we're going to deal with the stuff under the water. And again, if you've gone through coaching and, you know, we've hit some of these elements, but I thought it would be good. Well, first of all, I'm just a believer that it ain't never too much, especially when we're talking about these elements. So it was good for us to spend some time in detail just kind of walking our way through. So last week I kind of gave an introduction of what we were going to be talking about. And then this week we're going to jump into the when will you start, right? So we're at the bottom. You ain't even on the iceberg yet until you deal with that very first question, right? And that very first question, it's really a choice that's disguised as a question, right? When will you start? When will you decide that you're ready to do what's required to be successful? And this is what I mean. Most people, when they decide, you know what, I'm going to get into real estate, or I'm going to take the real estate classes, or, I'm going to become a realtor. When most people have that thought, they have no idea of what to expect. They don't. They do not know what it means to be a realtor. They don't, unfortunately. Now, they think they know, right? Because how else are you going to make a decision to want to do something or have a desire to do something unless you've been exposed to it at a level to make you want to do it, right? If the TV shows or the reality shows or, the social media, if it really showed what it requires, like what the day-to-day things that we deal with as realtors, if that was really showcased, number one, people wouldn't be looking at it because it ain't as exciting and glamorous as, millionaire real estate agent or a $1 million listing or flip this house or what they say, sunset selling. Like it ain't glamorous like that, most of this. So if it was really showcased, number one, people wouldn't be looking at it. Number two, you wouldn't have as many people trying to get in this business because for whatever reason, people feel like being a realtor is easy. They feel like, most people say, oh, well, when I went and bought my house and I got with the realtor and I saw what they did and then I saw how much money they made, I could do that. I mean, and I promise to God, they're sincere in their heart that they believe that it's easy. But guess what? Oh, so guess what? What do they do then? They say, okay, well, I'm going to go do it. So they enroll in their class, right? Champions, Aceable Agent, Allied, whichever one. They go and they get in the class, right? If they lucky, they pass the test the first time. If not, it may take them a couple of tries. They pass that test. So now they licensed, they excited, right? And now y'all know I've seen this multiple hundreds of times, right? Of the amount of time I've been in this business, 16 years, multiple thousands of agents I've been in contact with. So hundreds of times I've seen this exact same scenario. They're excited about the business, they're licensed, they're ready to go. They're ready to jump head first into it. And one of the very first things that happen is that they get a rejection. They get rejected, they get discouraged, they get punched in the mouth. Real estate punches them in the mouth. Now, why does that happen? It's because they've experienced culture shock. It's kind of like, and you know what culture shock is? Like if you decide to just uproot one day and decide that you're going to go live in, say, Sweden, right? Sweden is my go-to country. I say Sweden, if we ever move, we moving to Sweden. Because for whatever reason, Sweden seemed like it got it figured out. We're going to Sweden. So if I just uprooted my family and decided to go to Sweden one day, well, guess what? The Swedish people are not like Americans. They do things differently. They talk differently. They have different food. They think differently, right? So now, as an American, if all the exposure I have to is on TV, and if those TV producers or those people just decide to tell me their story or their recollection or to expose me to just certain things as it relates to Sweden, when I decide to go over there and now I get exposed to everything, well, guess what? I may run into some shock. Like, whoa, I didn't know it was going to be this cold. I didn't know that the food was going to have this kind of texture, or that it's dark so many hours of the day, right? So, and that's how most people come into real estate. They come into it with just, I ain't even gonna say half the story. I'm gonna say like 10% of the story. And then they get exposed to that other 90%. And that other 90% is tough. It's hard. It requires things like patience and persistence. And your confidence is constantly attacked. Your ego and your pride is constantly attacked. You're taught things and you're taught techniques that seem contradictory, that don't make sense. Because real estate is not like most careers. Real estate, I mean, not only is it not like most careers, it's not like most sales positions, right? Because, and the reason it is because for whatever reason, the perception or the running narrative for realtors is that it don't take much, that we get a lot, that we make a lot of money for not doing a lot of work. That's what people feel, right? So they come into the business thinking that. And then when that doesn't start happening for them, when it starts taking a lot longer, when it seems as if you're not even close to realizing what you thought, then there's a lot of apprehension, there's a lot of discouragement that you experience. And I am speaking from experience, because these are the conversations that I have every day with our realtors. We got over 50 agents, and I'm responsible for coaching most of them. And even if it's not a full-fledged coaching session, it just may be a text message. It just may be a phone call. And I'm dealing with an agent's belief or lack thereof in their abilities or capabilities in this business. So now you get into it and you experience all of that, and then at some point you got to make a decision. Is this the business for me? And everybody's gonna get there. I promise you. Everybody's getting there, or everybody's gotten there. Am I good enough for real estate? Do I have the abilities that's required? Why does it seem like so-and-so just got in and they killing it, right? Why does it seem like they're making all this money, they're doing all this balling out, but for me, it's not connected. So therefore, it must be something that's wrong with me. That's what most people, that's the crossroads that you're going to get to. So for my affiliate, because I have more than just agent members, I got right now in today's session, I got veteran agents, right? And again, if y'all want to chime in, unmute yourself and chime in. I got veteran agents, I got brand new agents, I have affiliate members, all on here today. And whether you've experienced it now or not, you will experience that moment of this business ain't for me, or I'm not cut out for it, or can I really do this, or just complete not understanding nothing is gonna happen. And at that moment, you now have to decide, are you now gonna be a realtor? Are you now gonna start? That's when that choice happens. That's when that moment hits, when you're mentally and emotionally being consumed by doubt and by fear and by apprehension. Like when that is there, that's when you have to, am I going to trust my broker or my friend who's a realtor or my family member? That person that says, no, you can do it. You got this. It's not you, right? It's not it's not that you can't do it. It's that you may not know what to do, or you may not have access to the right resources, or you may not understand the right strategies, but it's not you. I feel like everybody has the ability to be a realtor. And there's a lot of people who on the surface, it would seem like they wouldn't be successful, but they are. And there's a lot of people that on the surface, it would seem like they would be super successful, and they're dying. They're dying a slow death in real estate because it's not about the individual. Real estate is not about the individual. It's about time-tested processes, procedures, strategies, techniques. That's all it's about. And once you understand and know those things and begin to execute those things, you'll be successful. But at that moment, when you're at the bottom of that iceberg, you're talking about the bottom of the iceberg. We ain't even start moving up the iceberg yet. You at the bottom of the iceberg. That's where most people lose. That's where we as an industry lose most people in this business, when at the bottom of the iceberg. When it punches them in the face and nobody's there to catch them and encourage them, and they make the decision, I'm not starting. Because they haven't started. You have not started real estate until you get over that hump. And say, look, if this is what it takes, if this is the stuff that's required, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I'm about to go find me something else to do that is not this. And we run a lot of people out of this business, I promise you. So as a broker, I made it my mission to do something about that. Because for the longest that I've been in real estate, like, I knew it wasn't, the stuff that I talk about, the stuff that I believe and that I coach and I teach, like, I've never heard this stuff in the real estate space. I've never heard, and I've listened to all the gurus. I've read the books. I've been in the trainings. I've done that stuff, man. And I've never heard them speak the stuff that I talk about, that I know I experienced. Nobody's talking about that. So I said, all right, I'm going to talk about it. And that's how this whole psychological iceberg for success came to life. And that's how the way that we coach and our coaching process came to life. How we deal with the psychological aspects of it first, before we jump into the mechanical side of things, of knowing how to do a transaction, before we go into putting together and building a business that's on sustain. That's how we came up with our way of doing things. Because I know what I experienced. I know what I lived. And I know it ain't just me. It wasn't just me. Couldn't be. So I decided I was going to do something about it. So that's why I have these conversations, and we have these conversations. And that's why I felt like we needed to spend some time really digging into it, because just so, if you don't take anything away from this series that we're going in, I want you to take away the fact that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, right? You are able to do this business. It's not that you're not cut out for it. Like that, it's none of that. And I already know those messages, that self-talk is going to show up when the transaction isn't moving at the pace that you feel like it should move, or the client isn't cooperating the way that you feel like they should cooperate. And it seems as if with the clients that you're getting, like something's wrong with your clients, like the clients are all jacked up. Like, so when it starts looking like that, and then you start having these conversations with yourself about where the problem lies, I want you to understand that none of that stuff is true. And that the reality is that it's a process. Being a successful realtor is a process. It's a journey. And it takes time for it to come together. It takes time for it to click, right? I think real estate is just like, I would say, a professional sport, say basketball or football. You could take a top performing, take a top performing college quarterback in a particular system in college, going up against other collegiate athletes, and they'd be a superstar, Heisman Trophy winner, killing it. But then they get to the NFL, it's a totally different story. And sometimes it takes those guys, and sometimes some guys don't make it. Like some top recruits, #1 draft picks, they flame out in the first year. They don't make it. They don't do nothing, right? And then there are some that they were all right in college. They was drafted way down the line, 6th round, 4th round, 5th round. They make it to the NFL and they turn into superstars, right? So was it the individual? Like, it's the same person that was in college that's in the NFL, right? Whether it was on the good side or the bad side. What happened? What was the difference? Well, the difference is that college football ain't like the NFL, period. And whatever career that you come from ain't like real estate. So I don't care how good you was in your previous career or how bad you were in your previous career. It ain't nothing like being a realtor. I promise you it's not. So just like that collegiate athlete that was good in college, going to professionals, it's going to take some time for them to understand the nuances and the dynamics and the differences, these foreign concepts, these foreign procedures and processes and standards. It takes time to get it. It takes time to connect the dots, right? And I'm not sitting here saying I'm a miracle worker where I'm going to teach you this stuff and you're going to get it overnight. I know I'm a good teacher. I know I'm a good coach. I know I am. But it doesn't, no matter how good a teacher or a coach I am, does not determine how long it's going to take for it to connect with you. So don't even base it on that, right? The only thing that you got to base it on is saying you're going to make the commitment to stick with the process. Trust the process. That should become your mantra. If you're going to stay in this business, if you're going to become successful in real estate, you got to trust the process. Trust the process. I've done my best to try to present myself as a person that knows what he's doing as it relates to real estate. I know what I'm doing. I've done a whole lot of transactions. I've done a lot of real estate stuff. I've been in the good times, 2005, 6, 7, and the bad times, 2008, 9, 10, 11. And the good times again, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? Even to the pandemic time, 2020. So I done a whole lot of real estate. And what I'm saying is that I'm good at taking my experience and packaging it and presenting it and coaching you and guiding you through it to make it custom to where it will work for you. But even with that, it's still a process. It takes time, and you got to trust the process. So when you go through all of that and you're at the bottom of that iceberg and you got to make that decision of, am I going to do this? Am I going to start this? or am I not going to start this? That is the pivotal point of what the rest of your real estate career is going to look like. Are you going to press through and say, yes, yes, I am, yes, I can, regardless of how you feel or what you think? Or are you going to do it? And once you say, yes, I am going to do it, then we need to start looking at the man in the mirror, a man or woman in the mirror, which is going to take us into our next session. Now that we've made the choice, we've answered the question, when will you start? The answer is now. I'm going to start now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get off the bench. I'm going to get in the game, right? The next step is probably the scariest part of it, which is looking on the inside and being honest with yourself, giving yourself an honest look on the inside, because there's a lot of internal things that are in the way, and we gotta peel back those layers like an onion. We gotta peel back them layers, and we gotta deal with it. So that's what's gonna take us into next week's or next session. We're gonna be dealing with the next question of the psychological iceberg. Who are you? Gotta figure that thing out before we can get to the top. With that being said, boom, that's all I got. What do y'all think about today? Let me unmute y'all. Unmute yourself. Anybody got some comments? Anybody want to share anything? Have any questions about today, what I talked about? And y'all know I will call names too. Don't be shy. I'd love to hear from let's see, somebody put something in the chat. I'd love to hear from an affiliate. Does this scare y'all? Does it anything that what I talked about, does it cause any apprehension or any fear? Who's gonna talk to me today? Somebody talking?
I say no. I say no. It's not scary because it's realistic.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Tanya. Thank you for playing.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. So it's realistic. Now, Tanya, has anybody ever had this kind of conversation with you when you were talking about being a realtor, or any other companies you've been with, or any other realtors you talked to?
I have had conversations, but it's usually not that in depth. I think because once you figure out that you have to, put the work in to get the results, things are not going to just be handed to you.
Right.
Then you'll continue at it instead of giving up.
Right. Right. But I think some of the challenge is, and I don't put this on the realtors, I put this on the brokers, is that exactly what you just talked about, Tanya, is putting in the work that it's not going to be handed to you, but you need somebody there. You need somebody there to guide you. Like, can you imagine trying to do that by yourself? Deal with these elements by yourself?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, which is why when you say the one-on-one coaching is important, you're absolutely right. Because if you link up with, an organization that doesn't embrace that one-on-one coaching, then you're not going to gain that knowledge or that experience to be successful. And that's where you give up, because you become nothing but just a number.
Right. Absolutely. And it's like, that company, that organization is kind of like a person being in the middle of the ocean without a safety net or a life jacket or anything. At some point, you're just going to drown. And I think that's what's happening. That's what's happening to some people. But I appreciate that, Tanya, man. And if anybody else wants to share before I shut it down today, I'm getting some great comments from my affiliate members saying that they're ready to attack the iceberg. They realize it's a long process. A lot of no's. Appreciate that, Ellen, Christy. Appreciate your kind words. Says I'm passionate. Yes, I'm very passionate, because I want to help you all achieve what I know is out there for you to achieve. So yes, we're not going to let you do it by yourself. Not going to let you do it by yourself. So once you make that decision that you're going to start this train, know that you're not doing it by yourself. Not doing it by yourself. My pleasure, Tanya. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and shut it down a little bit. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for coming on. For those that shared, gave their comments, gave their attention, really appreciate it. If you ain't done your coaching, schedule your coaching. Let's stay committed to that because we know that that's an important key. Real quick before I get my ending music on, again, hour of seed credit. So for those of you all that had your videos on, you get an hour of continuing education credit. It's something that we offer every time we do the Create Your New Life. So we'll make sure we get your information and we'll get your hours put in there. Let's see. So now again, if you are not a member of Brooks & Davis yet, and you want to hear a little bit more about the things that we offer, you know, especially the one-on-one coaching, which is what you're going to hear a lot about, I highly encourage you to click on the link, schedule a company introduction, and I can tell you a little bit more about the great things that we're offering here at Brooks & Davis. And then the final thing is engage with us on social media. And that's not just for non-Brooks & Davis agent members. If you all that are on here now have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the Facebook page. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on Instagram. Connect with me on Twitter. Connect on my personal Facebook page. I want to connect with you all. I love engaging. I feel social media is a great platform to engage with one another. So just pick whichever platform is your preference and engage with me on that platform because I do stuff on all of them and I post content on all of them. All right. So with that being said, let me rear up my music. Man, it looks like we're going to get through a whole show without the internet kicking me off. Let's go, internet. Shout out to the internet today for not kicking me off. No, we are done for today. Another one in the books, Create Your New Life, Real Estate, Create Your New Life, brought to you by Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. I already kind of told you guys what we're talking about next session. Continuing with the psychological iceberg for success, answering the question, who are you? But today, look, we talked about the biggest decision of your career, man. When will you start? Now. The answer's now. We talked about our big, hairy, audacious goal, be #1 in the state, one-on-one coaching, and there's our beautiful townhome. So if you got somebody want to live in the city, let's go ahead for under $300,000. It's a no-brainer. Let's get it. That being said, I'm your host, broker, Michael G. Davis, CEO, Realtor plus business coach. Looking forward to coaching you into the cosmos. It's time to take off. You guys have a beautiful week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.